Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the third and final of my May Tabletop Talks. I am joined today by.
Hi, I'm JJ Mickey.
Great to have you, JJ, and it's been wonderful to be with you the last couple of years in Chicago as well. You're an awesome friend, and
Likewise.
thank you. Looking forward to talking with you today, and what is the subject on which you will offer your expertise?
Yeah, the subject I'll talk about is stream music.
Awesome. And we had somebody briefly, and then they go, almost had him.
All right.
Nah, it's okay. They'll be back in, hopefully.
Yeah.
But yeah, stream music, awesome.
Yeah.
So, some streamers have music, some streamers don't. Sometimes you feel
Yeah.
like a nut, sometimes you don't.
Mhm.
Hopefully that was a short enough blurb that it doesn't get struck. Anyways, uh, so some streamers like to put in stream music. Why do you think
Yeah.
streamers would want to put that in?
Oh, I think it often builds interest and excitement. Uh, Intro music, you have to build up what you would call, yeah, excitement, anticipation for a stream. And then when you have your background music, it can, I think a lot of people retain their attention when there's music going on better.
Yeah,
Helps
especially
with the vibe.
when especially when you're playing a game where there can be some time where people are going into the tank, or
Oh yeah,
there can be some time where maybe they have the stream on in the background or something, and they want some ambient music.
indeed. Yeah, that's what I do.
Awesome. So how do you go about doing that?
Well, I have a pretty substantial collection of uh music software to make music tracks with, and then I export them as audio files and give them to people who have commissioned me.
Awesome. And so these audio files, these are files that you created yourself, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So when it comes to ownership of the music, how does that work?
Uh, the music is owned by whoever buys it. It's for them. It's they've purchased it. It's theirs to use however they want in any number of contexts.
Okay. So if they put that music on in the background of their stream, theoretically, because it was something that was created by a musician, they would not get DMCA struck, correct?
Well, it depends if they're doing it through me or someone they've hired to make the music. Then yes,
Right.
it should be DMC free because there's no one else holding copyrights to it.
Yep. But if I did something like one of my early streams when I was doing, um, I tried to do a Nuzlocke, and I
Mm.
had I think it was an instrumental version of Pokemon Crystal, the Pokemon Crystal
Okay.
soundtrack. Now, because it's a version of the Pokemon Crystal soundtrack, I do not own that.
Correct. Yeah.
So,
So
yeah,
yeah. So you would be at risk of a takedown notice or strike or
yep,
action of some kind.
yep. So copyright strikes, you get multiple of those, and then you can have, you can go into what is effectively Twitch timeout. Um, you can also have your audio shut down.
Right.
That I've seen happen to some folks.
Yeah, I've
So,
seen people with their VODs getting like just muted all through.
mhm. There's even, if you have enough of an issue, there's the potential for demonetization.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of risk involved in using music on streams.
Uh, to an extent, if you're using copyright music, you always have that
Hmm.
risk of being caught using copyright music. But I don't think it's inherent risk of using music at all.
Right. That's where we're talking about
Mhm.
using us using the music of somebody who is a musician,
Correct.
who's created original compositions.
Mhm.
Is there a difference between being a musician and being a composer?
Um, yes, in certain in the context of like playing music versus writing music. Electronic music kind of blends those things together because you're kind of creating the performance as part of the composition.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Okay. So you function as kind of both, right?
Functionally, yes.
Okay. So if somebody were to hire you to do stream music, what sorts of services would you provide?
Oh, I can make music for whatever they want for their stream. Intro music, outro music, background music, tracks of varying lengths. Uh, Usually it's various kinds of electronic music. That's what I have available to me to work with is software for electronic music specifically. Uh, I do have like sampled real instruments, so I can make realistic sounds to some extent, but it's largely synthesizer based and whatnot.
Okay. You stream as well, correct?
Yeah,
Do you use any of your own music on your streams?
I have in the past. I've flip flopped on whether or not I want to continue doing that. Um, right now, I'm using. I mean, previously I would just have a playlist of my own music running in the background off a browser uh, app, and then currently I'm what I've looking at doing currently is having song redemptions as part of my stream where they'll play one of my songs off my computer file.
Okay. So that is something that somebody could do is have music as a chat redemption.
Yes.
So if somebody were wanting to use music as a chat redemption, would you do like a portion of a song, a full song? About what length of song would you use for something like that?
Um, it would largely depend on what they're using. I'm using Firebot, which is a Twitch bot I've just found out about and am learning to implement, which can play the full length version of the full song, and then not allow anything else to play until that song is finished, so it can not like have overlapping redemptions, which I think is very useful. But others might prefer just part of the song. It's up to them, really.
Okay. All right. So I'm looking at Firebot here. So what is Firebot? Just from what you know about it, you don't have to be considered.
From what I know, it's like a more advanced version of like things like Nightbot and those kind of like chat automation programs.
Okay. Yeah, I've used Nightbot. I have not used Firebot before. I'm looking at it. Interesting.
Yeah, it seems very interesting. It's got a lot of like programming potential.
hmm I will say, as far as streams go, my stream is fairly low tech, so I'm
That's
certainly
fair.
always looking for new things that I could do. Um,
Certainly.
yeah, I mean, for me, it's high enough tech just to have like chat commands and such.
Hmm.
I still don't have chat redemptions, but I at least have things like like this is the donation links and stuff.
Fair, fair. Yeah, that's all good.
Okay. So theoretically, you'd have some sort of a name for the song or portion of a song that you would put with the redemption, and then somebody would type that into your chat, and it would play the
Yeah,
song.
right.
Um, can you adjust volume on anything like that?
Um, yeah, I believe it goes into my OBS, and then I can switch the smooth control the volume there. I think Firebot also has a bit of a volume control, but I don't know if it's that advanced
Okay.
to say.
So one of the reasons why I stopped using ambient music on my streams is because it was becoming a distraction.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility of things that can risk.
Yeah, I tend to stream at night and after work, and so I'm tired, and then there's the music, and then I'm trying to listen to everybody at the same time, and It's one of the reasons why I stopped using ambient music. But if you can control the volume,
Uh,
that would be nice.
oh, definitely, yeah.
I would run into the issue sometimes of um, when I'm doing like a commander stream of having the volume be too loud and trying to balance everything, and audio
Mhm.
balancing as in and of itself is its own nightmare.
Oh, yeah, it's real tricky.
Trying to get all the players to sound the the same and
Mhm.
such.
Yeah.
Then you want to add in a fifth layer to that.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah, I tend to keep my music pretty low when I do have it.
That's good. Then possibly having it run through something different. I know I've been on some streams where I know that there's been music playing, but I haven't
Yeah,
heard it because they run it outside of Discord. I think.
yeah, yeah, it's probably directly through OBS and not into the chat, then into OBS
And
or
that
Streamlabs or whatever they're using.
yeah, that would be good because sometimes you wind up with other people getting distracted or things like that.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm like that as well. I don't put my music through the Discord chat. It's through OBS directly into Twitch.
okay. Um, Now, does that use any extra CPU?
Uh, Not that I've noticed, and I don't have like a very high end setup with my computer, so it's not
Okay.
like a big issue.
Oh well, that's actually precisely why I'm asking. Is because I don't have a very high tech setup either, and
Right.
sometimes I'll have to do things like even right now I've closed my Google Chrome on my
Ah.
computer because running Google Chrome and running OBS and Discord at the same time, sometimes it winds up skipping, or
Mhm.
sometimes there winds up being issues with the audio and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know because I can handle those things with my computer, and my computer was like a mid-level build. Like I built it like medium level, like 2016 or so.
Okay. Some
So
of
it's
that is
not the
also me
best.
being a little bit oversensitive.
Yeah,
I probably don't need to shut everything down, but
yeah, perhaps.
I do that just to make sure that it doesn't mess anything up.
Sure, that's fair.
Then again, would it be a stream if there wasn't someone having technical issues?
Of course.
I just would rather it not be the host.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So you say that you use electronic music. How do you differentiate what you make for one person versus another person?
It's largely what they. It's part of largely what they request. I do ask for information about what they're using it for, what kind of feeling and style they want. Uh, and then it's also my own personal approach to creating music and what tools I have available to me.
Okay. So, how can you communicate the vibes of a certain stream or personality into music?
Uh, Good question. I think I think usually streamers know what they want their vibe to be if and they can communicate that pretty well, and then I can take that verbal or I guess written is information and convert it into music, and then I do provide like at least on for pretty short tracks, pretty much unlimited revisions and constant back and forth between us to
Okay.
get what they really want. So
Okay.
it's always a work in progress until they've accepted the final version.
Okay. So let's say that somebody was looking for kind of a dark and creepy vibe, and they're known for being a mono black player and such.
Oh yeah, I can do that.
How would you communicate that into electronic music?
Uh, hmm. There's lots of ways to go about it. There's like string stings, like like kind of things like Psycho used in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Organs. creepy
So,
organ sounds, and just like dark synth sounds, just deep. Well, I can't make the sound of a dark synth right now, but
right.
it can be done.
So would you use like staccato strings like that?
Yeah,
So that's where it's like sharp. E e e e. Is that
exactly.
what you're talking about? Yep. Okay. Good. Good. We're on the same page. Can you do like organ sounds?
Oh
Da
yeah,
da 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 da. Things like that.
definitely. Lots of
Nice.
organ sounds on my computer.
Nice. And then
Uh,
you pick and choose, and that's organ harvesting. Anyways, you know I had to have the bad jokes.
oh yeah, yeah. It's all good.
So let's say that you wanted to have a more lighthearted stream where you have somebody who's known for doing silly things and silly interactions and just generally fun plays and less of the dark macabre and such. Can you do something like how would
Sure.
you do something like that?
My first instinct is to do something like with a light piano, something playful, upbeat melodies and that kind of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe uh, so try to make something more pop sound, like uh, yeah, again with the upbeat melodies and that sort of major key kind of stuff.
Do you have things like a spring or a June harp or something like that? That goes like bring, bring, bring.
Um, I don't know for sure. I'm sure I have something pretty close in my collection of sounds. I don't have like a very good knowledge of everything I have available to me,
Okay.
but if I like search it in my programs, I could probably find something pretty close.
Have you ever heard Time and Kangaroo Down Sport? That spring going into the background? No. That's okay.
No, I
Um,
don't think.
can you guess why I'm talking about a spring in the background?
Yeah, is it just the time now?
Bouncing because me.
Oh yeah, you yes, I get you. I get you.
Yeah, I'm being silly about that.
Hmm.
Okay. So yeah, and that's a pretty wide range right there, going from silly and
Yeah.
bouncing stuff to the dark, the macabre, the mono black mage and such.
Oh
Nice.
yeah.
And presumably you can do any variety of stuff in between. Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, those would be different ways that you could make things unique to the individual. Sometimes it's with the genre of music. Sometimes it's with the instrumentation. Sometimes it's with whether it's melodious or staccato or such.
Hmm.
So sometimes it's with the particular strumming of the instrument.
Correct.
So all of those are different things that you could do to make something sound unique to the individual.
Oh yeah. Indeed.
Okay. So how do those things change when you're talking about the intro versus the ambient part?
Um. But again, it's all a matter of what I'm asked to make for the particular client streamer.
So let's say
I
that
mean,
this particular that the clients ask for both. How would you
yeah.
differentiate between the two?
Oh yeah. The intro music is going to be more. I would say it would be more attention grabbing for the intro music generally, and maybe build up more to a climax where the ambient music is meant to probably be listened like at any point coming in. It'll be like a long loop, or most likely, and it won't have any particular. It might have some highs and lows, but it won't really be building up to a particular climax. Is how I would generally approach it.
Okay. So an example could be something like the psycho theme could be used for an introduction because it has more of the sharp staccato sounds, but
Mhm.
something like In the Halls of the Mountain King, which does
Oh
still
yeah,
have those sharp staccato sounds, but it builds to them. Might be more of the
right.
ambient sound.
Yeah. Maybe not build quite to the same extent, like with that constant build up that the Hall of the Mountain King has, but it's something like that where you can
Hmm.
catch in at any point, really, and you get the idea of it.
Yeah, I'm just saying so one of them has those staccato sounds from the beginning. The other one
Mhm.
goes da 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 da
Right.
da da da. So it still has those staccato sounds, but it works to them.
Definitely.
So that would be kind of the difference between that same staccato, that same staccato section being used as the climax versus being used as the consistent tones.
Right.
Okay, awesome. So let's say that somebody that the other person who has the silly, the bouncy, the June harp,
Mhm.
the boingy sounds, they wanted to do something like that. How would you differentiate between the intro and the ambient?
Uh, I think the ambient music would have to be a bit more mellowed out compared to the intro, and it could still have all those elements of the springs bouncing, and but they'd be a bit more spaced out, I believe. That's how my initial take on it would be. And then, of course, if they want it as crazy as the intro, they can have that if they want.
Mm-hmm. Let's spaced out, probably lower tones to it as well,
Yeah.
instead of bang, bing, boom, something like that.
Yeah.
So using the same instrumentation but lower tones, less maybe less frequency, things to that
Hmm.
effect. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting some of those sciencey terms in there. Nice. Okay. So, how would somebody go about putting in? How does somebody add music to a stream? We talked about not just playing it in the background because then it's difficult to control it. Um,
Right.
so, how does one
Uh,
go about putting that into OBS?
right. So let me just double check because I do have my own intro music that I made for myself, and I can
Nice.
just in a second tell you. I believe there you use an media source for the music. Starting soon has indeed starting music, which is in fact, yeah, it is. It's just a media source where you point it at your local file where you have the music, the audio file, and set it to this to. I have it set to restart when source becomes active. So every time I go to my starting soon screen, it starts the playback and it just loops.
Do you have to tell it to loop, or does it just loop on its own?
There is a loop check box you can have toggle
Okay.
on and off, but I have it set on and left
Okay.
there.
Yep. Similar to if you have an introductory, like a slideshow or a short animation,
Right.
you would have to click to set that to loop as well.
Hmm. Exactly.
Yep. So if you do that, then it'll go back and start playing additional times depending on how long you need it to do.
Right.
Okay. Does that audio then go into your mixer?
Yes.
Okay.
I can control the volume of it there.
Yep. So usually you'll have desktop audio, mic aux, and then this will be adding in from the files audio.
Yeah. I also have it to where's my audio settings? Advanced audio properties. I don't have it going through my monitor, so I don't hear it myself, because otherwise it's gonna be just
Yep.
like an issue if I'm hearing it myself and it's on stream.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Yeah.
don't hear it through my own headphones.
Yep. Well, then if it's picking up your headphones in order to pick up the other people, then it winds up double looping it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
That would not be good. Okay. So once you've got the audio looping and you've adjusted the volume to make sure that it's where you want it, um, so actually check that before then. Is there a particular
Mhm.
type of file that you need to have in order for it to register?
Good question. I'm writing a WAV file for mine. Yeah, that's what I generally give people unless they ask for otherwise. Uh, Potentially a high quality MP3 is going to work as well. I'd have to test to make sure, but I don't see any reason why not.
Okay. And I can say I use Cloud Convert if I want to get things from one file type to another. And I
Okay.
think that those two communicate just fine together.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes what I'll do is I'll use OBS to record audio and then uh, transfer that from MP4 to MP3.
Okay.
I started doing that when I realized I couldn't trust Audacity anymore.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that got
Okay.
frustrating.
That's too bad.
So the problem was that
Uh,
Audacity would stop recording and it wouldn't tell me that it stopped recording. So
oh, that's annoying.
I would wind up with chunks missing from the conversation.
Hmm.
When I realized that that was happening, yeah, that was it for me with Audacity.
Yeah. I generally use Audacity for only a couple things. One being converting file types, if I need to, and when I record music through the software I have, it will have like a large chunk of silence at the end of any uh music file export, and I just use Audacity to find that and cut it off, and so I'm not having a bunch of dead silence at the end of every song I record.
Okay. Yeah. One thing we don't like is dead air.
Yeah.
Okay, so you want to try to avoid dead air, and that is one of the reasons why you would sometimes loop that, is because you know that you're always capturing something.
Hmm.
So the only reason why there would be dead air would be if it stopped recording completely. Um,
Right.
so yeah, at least you can do that to keep people interested and to avoid the potential issue of dead air. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
so yeah, we do have the so avoiding the issue of dead air. We're talking about um, so what happens if somebody decides that that maybe that music doesn't fit the vibe?
Uh, I can change it. Yeah, it's not. It's really. I've scrapped like revisions and started over. That's not an issue for me. I've
Um,
gone through like music with people who've had several times where I had to start from scratch, and yeah, that's totally fine.
is there any particular stage in the revision where that would be a point of frustration?
Um, it depends on the length of the track they're asking for. If it's like my, I believe my policy is that there's no charge on tracks under a minute. I will charge for revisions over a minute if I have to make significant changes.
Okay. And I would say anytime that you're asking an artist to make adjustments to something, um, especially if it was something that wasn't communicated earlier, I would say you tip a little bit. Kind of
That's-
it's kind of a what I'm trying to say. It's kind of a courtesy thing,
oh yeah, yeah.
especially if it's not an issue that you told them about previously. If it is an
Hmm.
issue that you told them about previously and it just wasn't addressed or is still a problem, and
Right.
then I could see maybe not adding an additional tip. But for me, when somebody's doing some sort of art for me, whether it's visual, auditory, any kind, um, somebody's doing some art for me, at least theoretically, there's the chance that I could do something like it on my own, and you're doing me a favor. You're helping me in some way for something that
Mhm.
I can't necessarily quantify just how much I benefit from what you did.
Oh yeah, yeah, I get you. Yeah.
So to me, if anything, I owe you a bit, and uh, I also find that oftentimes artists tend to undervalue their own talents as well as their own time.
Yeah, that's true to a very significant extent, I believe.
So that would be another reason why I would do things like that. Um,
Mhm.
uh, because again, I can't quantify what you're helping me do.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's yeah. I can see it's hard for a lot of people to really understand what they're asking for
Hmm.
in terms of what everything that goes into it.
Yeah, even if something seems easy for you, that can also just be because you're talented and you're good at what you do.
Right. Oh
And
yeah.
I very much mean that, not just in a general sense. You are talented and you are good at what you do,
Mhm.
and I've
Thank
seen
you.
that firsthand.
Thanks a lot.
Absolutely. I've seen the firsthand of some of the projects that we've worked on, even though some of them haven't come to fruition yet. I should say. It's not like they will
Mhm.
never come to fruition, but some of them haven't come to fruition yet.
Mhm.
You've done wonderful work, and you've had a very good relationship with regards to putting together some interesting compositions.
Thank you.
Yeah, one of the things we'll have to do one of these days is the rap battles. That would have been
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. I still have all the files I have for you on my computer here. Just look at them on my desktop. You know, I have a little
I
folder.
Yeah, I believe I have them as well in a Google Drive folder. I think so.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure I still have them as well. I just haven't done
Mhm.
anything with them yet. Sorry
All
about
right.
that.
It's all good.
I'm still trying to figure out exactly. Um, it takes a lot of time for stuff like that. But for the uninitiated, that project is JJ made some background music for. I was gonna make epic rap battles in the multiverse, which is a rap version of the epic rap battles of history.
Mhm.
For different planeswalkers and have different planeswalkers go back and forth with each other because I thought that would be
Mhm.
funny.
Yeah.
It
Uh,
started off of a series of tweets and
mhm.
eventually it kind of fizzled, but that's more because I got busy.
That's fair. Yeah, that was an interesting project to work on because I had to come up with all these different tracks that were all substantial, of pretty substantial length, but they all had to have this sort of rhythm to them,
Mm-hmm.
where it had the role of the two planeswalkers, and each of them had to have that music going back and forth between them.
Yeah, yeah, there were some interesting ones I had lined up potentially. Like, I think one of the ones that I actually started was um, Vivian versus Garrick for the right to be
Mm.
the mono green planeswalker.
Ah, cool.
So Garrick was ripping Vivian about how she was supposed to take out Bolas, and then she just sat around and did nothing in War of the Spark.
Right.
And then Vivian comes back at him about how he's a deadbeat uncle
Mm.
because he allowed the kid to lose part of his leg.
Mm.
Strixhaven. It
Yeah.
was Will and Rowan.
Ah, yeah.
So yeah, there was some good barbs in there.
I'm
Silvery
fair.
barbs. Ah, Strixhaven.
Mhm.
Yep, so that one actually wound up becoming a series of tweets, but never actually became a full fledged rap. Would be cool if it did though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Maybe someday.
Yep. And I actually still have the spreadsheet of people who signed up too.
Okay,
I'm not in contact with all of them though. Some of them didn't migrate over to Bluesky and such.
I see.
But
Oh,
fun idea.
yeah.
But that also, I guess, leads to a different thought that so you do provide music not just for the streams, but also for any recorded content that people do.
Yeah, any kind of content projects, anything that can use audio, essentially. That's like not just streams, but videos, podcasts. Um, yeah, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, podcasts in particular, a lot of them have like neat introductions and such.
Yeah.
I know that's one of the things that I sort of wish that I had done for the Quote of Arms podcast. Give it some
Ah,
sort of an intro jingle or something.
yeah. Okay.
But
Yeah,
at this
they're nice to
point,
have,
it's
but
70 episodes in. I think that's a little too late.
yeah, they're nice to have, but you can get by without them.
hmm
Uh, but they add a nice bit of flavor to your content.
And they can make it sound a bit more professional as well.
Yeah.
So let's say that you were to do an introduction for a podcast. How would that be different from what you might do for a stream or so for a stream or for a stream introduction?
Um. So most of my work in that regard isn't going to change very much. I would think that a podcast would want the music to have a start, a middle of some sort, and an end in a rather short amount of time, where it's not meant to be looping over and over. Well, there's no starting soon waiting period for a podcast to start. Really,
hmm
it just goes once and then they begin.
Yeah, and also some people want to lead into it a little bit, but yeah.
Mhm.
Um, so it doesn't necessarily need to although some people might want ambient music during a podcast. That could be helpful. But I would say you probably just want the introduction there.
Most likely, yeah, just the intro and potentially an outro music as well
Yeah, I
for a
could see an outro
podcast.
music. I think some of the ones I would think of would be like EDA Trek as an outro.
Yeah.
So yeah, having a little bit of an outro like that can be helpful. Um,
Hmm.
so how would the intro and outro be similar? How would they be different?
Thematically, like they'd be very similar in terms of what the music actually is, the melody and whatnot. Uh, the um, how to describe this? Music that's leading into something just feels different from music that's leading out of what preceded it. Just the way the music's written, the way it's faded. Yeah, it will. I can work on either, but it'll be very similar, recognizably similar, but just on opposite ends. Hopefully that makes sense.
All right, so again, a lot of the same instrumentation, but instead of ascending chords, you might have descending chords at the end.
Potentially, yeah, or just something that feels final for an outro music, something that feels like this is the end. Very like a something like a sustained note or chord to cut things off, fade out.
I know sometimes they'll end on again going back to the staccato da 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 something like that.
Yeah, that kind of motif would be real good for the right podcast.
Oh yeah, I get it. It's a little bit silly, but
Sometimes
this.
that's what they want, silly.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, you know me. I love silly because I kind of am silly. Um, Hence, just putting in random jokes and such. So again, so just like for streams for podcasts, how do you make those sound unique to the subject?
Uh, I have a lot of flexibility in terms of my ability to make sounds or adjust sounds, either with the synthesizer programs I have, just what they let me make in terms of sounds, or just adding effects to those sounds. There's a lot that can be done. In terms of uniqueness to a particular stream or podcast, that's again, it's really a matter of what they ask for, and I will. I'm not gonna like directly reuse ideas from one podcast to another, but if they're asking for very similar things, I have those ideas will, in my mind, come back, and I'll make them unique, but they're not. I'm not reinventing the wheel, so to speak.
Okay. So, what do you enjoy about creating stream music?
Uh, it's largely just an extension of my enjoyment of making music in general. Uh, and I started making stream music largely because I wanted the experience and challenge of making music for other people, not just myself, and making music to a certain uh, asked for standard, like as you say, contract music, essentially. And I find it really enjoyable and a little challenging at times, but overall much more fun.
Okay. So, what sort of so do you enjoy playing around with different chords and signatures? Do you enjoy playing around with different instrumentation? Do you
Oh
enjoy
yeah,
what aspect of it do you like?
all of it is it's uh just creative expression. It's just art, and art made as far as specifications is still fun art to make.
Okay. So I'm trying to figure out is what makes it fun, or what makes it different or unique from, say, painting or sculpting.
Uh, I I don't know. Art is curious like that. People are drawn to different mediums. For whatever reason, I just get musical ideas. I've had them for decades now, and then I just found out how to express them. So I did.
Okay. Um, are there any musical related ideas that you've had that you have not fully expressed yet, or that you're working on expressing?
Oh yeah, I have my well for a long time I've been working on a music for a rock band I was meaning to put together at some point. I've got most of the music I want that for that written. I just haven't it's just on guitar tab files on my computer really. So
Okay.
it hasn't been released, but it's a work in progress still. It's definitely going to come out at some point because it's a big goal of mine.
So, do you play the guitar?
Not well, I'm mostly a bassist in that regard.
Okay. Um, is it a dream of yours to someday have a band?
Yes.
Okay. What sorts of things would you need in order to make that happen?
I would need mostly space to host other artists, musicians to play with, and other musicians to play.
Okay. One of the things I've been seeing a lot is people recording separately and putting things together, especially over the pandemic.
Hmm.
Do you think
That's something to
that
consider.
do you think that people recording their separate parts and then splicing them together could potentially work?
Uh, yeah, potentially. Yeah, that's definitely a thing I hadn't thought of, and definitely worth considering.
Okay. What roles would you need people to serve within that band?
Guitar primarily. Keyboards. Yeah. Some vocals perhaps, and a drummer because I don't have a space for a drum set here.
And that's where having people record their parts remotely could help.
Mhm.
Instead of
Yeah.
you can always make music. You don't have to necessarily go to gigs. That is something
Right.
that the Beatles kind of showed the world, although not necessarily
Mhm.
the Beatles, but
Mhm.
it takes a bit to get to where they got to. But
Yeah.
it is a cool thing they managed to do is to just stop touring at a certain point when they realized they didn't want to anymore.
Right. Right. It would be nice to have that flexibility, but that is a pretty significant privilege, I think.
Yeah. Well, that is. I mean, regards with COVID, and then with regards to tariffs and international
Mhm.
travel issues right now and such.
Yeah. Yeah, those are definitely uh putting dampers into plants and stuff.
Oh yeah. So, what sort of theme would this potential band have?
It's very like experimental electro rock. Mostly, I have my bass and my steel drum to contribute to it. Uh, some bit of progressive rock as well. It's um a bit all over the place in terms of thematic sound. Because it's really a culmination of several years of different ideas. Where I eventually decided I'm not going to try and make 3 or 4 different bands. I'm just going to pile everything into one and just try to at least organize the music as it's released in a way that makes sense.
So, if you wind up having like a vocalist, or you're working with somebody on maybe lyrics and having a lyricist, this could potentially be magic related, all around the multiverse, eh?
Yeah, maybe I might do something magic. Not with this band particularly, but I could
Okay.
do a magic at some
uh,
point.
yep. Just make sure you don't call it the magical mystery tour. It might have somebody knocking on our door.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Man. Yeah, it does sound like an awesome idea, and it could be a cool way for things to potentially go.
Hmm, indeed.
Um, would you recommend different types of music based on not just the streamer and their vibes, but also the games that they play?
I Yeah, I suppose I've never recommended music to anyone in that regard before, but uh, if they're asking me what I would recommend they use, then uh, yeah, different types of games have different feelings and moods that I could try and match.
There's also like if it's a game that has a lot of talking to it, like Commander, you might want
Hmm.
something that's a little lower in the ambient music, or maybe just not music at all. Um, whereas if
Hmm.
you're doing something like playing Magic Arena or
Right.
uh, playing Magic Arena or doing a Nuzlocke, then you might want the music to be a little bit more pronounced because you're more likely to have things like dead air.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah. Again, it all goes back to what I'm asked to make by the client,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, so hopefully between them and myself, we can come up with what works perfectly for their stream or whatever.
Do clients usually know what to ask for, or do you have to guide them a little bit?
Uh, it really depends. I've had some who give very good details about what they want. They have references of like, I want something that sounds like this piece of music. Uh, they're very good. Others are a bit. I need a bit more help to really express what they're thinking. Um, yeah, so it really depends, person to person.
Yeah, well, so when they do say, I want something that sounds like X or Y, how
Yeah.
do you make something that sounds like X or Y, but doesn't alert the sensors?
Uh, well, the main thing is not to actually use the X or Y
Right.
music. It's to be inspired by it. And
Mm-hmm.
if I'm inspired by it, I can't recreate anything because I don't have that exact sound. But in terms of melody, I can make familiar something that feels familiar, but not follow the same notes pattern. Essentially,
That's the trick. It's not following the same notes or progressions.
yeah,
That's where you have the issue with The Air That I Breathe and Creep and Lana Del Rey. I remember her song, but there's a. I know that she got. It was like the series of people getting sued over the same song. Uh,
yeah. That's the thing where people use the same progressions and they get in trouble. Yeah.
it was something like Lana Del Rey got sued and had to put a copyright on Creep, and Creep had to put a copyright from the Hollies. And it was the same progression used over and over and over again. And then conversely, there's a time when Ed Sheeran went to court and produced a number of songs all the way back to the 1700s that
Mhm.
had the same progression that even outdated the group that was trying to sue him,
Mhm.
saying that they ripped it off as well. So it's an interesting thing when it comes to, can you copyright chord progressions?
Yeah, and it gets really silly, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you could say it's supercilious. Ah, I love that word because supercilious has super silly in it. Anyways, I always look for excuses to inject that word.
Good word.
Yeah. All right, so you're down to about last few minutes. So Merchants, so where can people find you and or your content?
Uh, Specifically for my music, they can find uh so there's my music that I've released personally on my Bandcamp. They can just there or on any music platform. If they want to just check out what kind of stuff I can make, if they want to commission me, there's my Ko-fi page where I have my uh commissions for anyone to order music from me for their own content. Otherwise, I'm on Discord and Bluesky mostly, and I stream on Twitch.
Absolutely, and you do wonderfully at all of those. Um,
Thank
so,
you.
so if somebody wanted to hire you for your music, how would they go about doing that?
Uh, so the good thing about Ko-fi is that they have the a framework set up, I guess you'd call it, to commission me, send money, ask for what they want, uh, initiate correspondence, and then yeah, I'd get back to them pretty fast once I know I have a commission uh, being asked for.
If people already know you, do you respond to requests in DMs?
Yes, yes, on Blue Sky and on Ko-fi directly, and I've done email exchanges. I just and on Discord too works. Just as long as I know, like, I have a place where I can have that back and forth conversation where I know where I'm getting messages and they're receiving my messages and so on.
Okay. Yeah, because we need that sort of discourse and discussion in order to come to a conclusion and to make sure that everybody's copacetic with what's being made, right?
Exactly.
Okay, awesome. All right. Well, it's been wonderful having you on.
Yes, this has been great. Thanks for having me and thanks for the invitation.
My honor. Have a great rest of your night.
You too.